Hello there. This is a joint effort by Sergio and I. We're going to show you a video made by Sergio last year of a field trip that we had in July to the Isle of Skye in Raasay. This was the IAS field trip, and it was an absolutely super event where we had a conference in Aberdeen, and then we took, I think it was 3 different field trips in total, and myself and Ron Steele led this trip. Sergio's starting off here with his drone on the Isle of Raasay, the east coast of Raasay, and this is where we saw these large-scale mega scours or channels. And the origin of these, as you know, can be debated, but they're not fluviatile, we don't think. We don't think they're some kind of tidal channel cutting a barrier bar. They could be turbidity channels and gravity flows, but they would be in relatively shallow water, and that would be a bit controversial. Not impossible, but controversial. Our best bet is that these are ebb tidal channels, some kind of erosion and scour of the paleo sea floor ahead of a distributary, maybe in front of a distributary mouth bar. Just some ideas there. Lots of work still to be done in this area. As you go up on the cliff, you'll notice that these channels are a bit tighter. Their geometry and architecture changes. The width to thickness ratios are smaller. Some of this may be apparent channelization if you assume that not all of these fractures are the edge of channels. So there's more work to be done, but really interesting channelization. These are the background fascies, cross beds out towards the right here, which is predominantly towards the north and northwest. And most of them trough cross beds, so crescentic shaped dune crests, but lots of planar as well. And you'll see that these cliffs are near vertical, impossible to actually access. This is the second outcrop. We're now at Berwick Bay. This is the type site for the Berwick sandstone. We've passed over the Olach. We're going through the Udairn Shale. The Udairn Shale here has some interbedded thin sandstones, and these interbedded thin sandstones may well be some kind of distal turbidites. They are very flat-based, very flat-topped, and they may well be some thin gravity flows, possibly seismites. Anyway, as we come up through the succession, lots of concretions, cementation, and then we have this colour change as we go into a silt-dominated Holm sandstone. And then, if you remember from my talk, there's a major sequence boundary in here, and that's where we get this ledging effect. Major basinward shift in fascies, huge progradation, and above that system there, above that sequence boundary, we've got large tidal bed forms. And this is a focus in on the Rig sandstone now, much more interbedded, sands and shales intercalated, and a slight, I think, thinning upwards of sandstone thickness. And then we're into the section above. Moving on quickly, this is heading for the final locality, Strathird Peninsula, in the south of Skye. Here, this is the thickness set of deposits of the Berwick sandstone, close to 500 metres in thickness, because we're very close to an active fault here, the Kamasunari fault. Most of what we can see are unidirectional trough cross beds, all heading towards the south-southwest. One or two bits of evidence to suggest an opposing current direction here, but dominantly towards the south-southwest. Trough cross beds with a bed set height of 20 centimetres up to 1 metre would be a kind of an average, would be a rough characterisation for these things. A wonderful outcrop, enough embayments and enough caves and coves to get the three-dimensionality on these dunes. And these are compound dunes. We see these would have been on the sea floor with a lot of macroforms and parasitic bed forms growing on top of the master surfaces. And so the three-dimensionality, I hope you get a sense for that here. You can get round all the corners and you can measure all the paleo flows with a real proper 3D dip rather than an apparent dip. All the actual fractures you're seeing here are not structural faults or fractures. They are igneous dikes. So there are major vertical intrusions that shot through this area from the Black Coolen. That's the tertiary dike swarm there. coming right the way through. So Sergio and I have done a wee bit of a double act here. I hope it's of interest to you. I think it shows the quantity of rock that's on show in the Isle of Skye and Raasay, a truly wonderful laboratory for the Middle Jurassic. And thanks to you, Sergio, for all your assistance here.